Your voice. Discovering ethnicity, nationality, race, heritage, and culture using your voice's accent, dialect, pronunciation, and language. Introduction. As a frequent traveler around the world, Ken Howard is often approached by people asking, "Hi, where are you from? What's your ethnicity?" or "What's your race?" using them all interchangeably to imply the same question. As a lover of travel, as well as a staunch champion of promoting love towards every culture, he felt compelled to get it right first himself, before he can help others understand the differences in each word's meaning. He says he's even been guilty of doing the same thing, asking, "Where are you from?" when actually referring to someone's heritage. However, where someone is from, semantically, refers to nationality. An even worse question to ask is, "What are you?" as this is bordering on all sorts of possible rights violations and indignities. Meeting Americans visiting Australia, as an Aussie, he knows to listen first to their accent, to wait for a "eh" at the end of the sentence in case they're Canadian. This then makes him question, "Are you from Canada?" instead of asking if they are American. If he gets it wrong, he could then just say, "But isn't Canada in North America?" Ethnicity. Ethnicity is based on a group, called an ethnic group, that is normally based on similar traits, such as a common language, common heritage, and cultural similarities within the group. Other variables that play a role in ethnicity, though not in all cases, include a geographical connection to a particular place, common foods and diets, and perhaps a common faith or even habits, dialects, and the way certain words are pronounced. Race is a word with similar meaning, though describing more physical traits, as opposed to the cultural traits of ethnicity. Race. Race is similar to ethnicity, but relates more to the appearance of a person, especially the color of their skin or the shape of their features, like eyes, nose, and cheeks, etc. Race is determined biologically and includes other inherited genetic traits such as hair and eye color, and bone and jaw structure, among other things. These can include the shape of the larynx, which will affect the speech. Take, for example, a German trying to say the word squirrel. They cannot, as the muscles in the mouth and throat have never been trained to work that way. Nationality. 90% of the time, nationality refers to the place where the person was born and or holds citizenship. However, oftentimes nationality can be determined by place of residence, ethnicity, or national identity. If a person was born in country A but immigrated to country B while still a toddler, he or she might identify more with the country B nationality, having been raised there. It sometimes is a requirement to learn the official language of the country someone moves to. This could be by law or by necessity. For example, an Australian living in China would do well to learn Chinese, a second language in their new home. Their voice will evolve into a mixture of their birthplace and their newly learned language. Citizen. A citizen is typically either born in a country, born to citizens of the country while abroad, married to a citizen of the country, or becomes a citizen through the naturalization process. A citizen is a complete member of the nation, able to vote and hold elected office. Heritage. Heritage can overlap on the ethnicity and nationality a bit at times, but it generally refers to the ancestors of a person and what they identified with. For example, a child born to naturalized U.S. citizens hailing from Venezuela could say they have a Venezuelan heritage, even if they don't share the ethnicity, perhaps they can't speak Spanish, and they are American as far as nationality. Even moving to a place with the same language, the accent mixture will create a new hybrid accent. Take, for example, Ken's son, James, who is the voicey example below. So many say that he has a mixed Australian and Southern American accent. See if you're able to pick up James' mixed accent when you listen to him. Culture. Culture is similar to ethnicity, yet more of a microcosm of it. Culture may involve one trait or characteristic sort of like a subset of the various traits that make up an ethnicity. Perhaps a person may be ethnically Jewish, or they could subject themselves to simply one or two things of Jewish culture, such as wearing a kippah. This person may not necessarily relate to the entire micro-ethnicity that is being Jewish. Identity. Identity is whenever a person identifies with more, whether it be a particular faith, country, ethnicity, gender, etc. Imagine an example of a mixed-race girl. She was born in America to a Liberian father and an American woman of Irish descent. She doesn't identify with either Liberian or Ireland, too white for Liberia, too dark for Ireland, and not much with America, as she wears dreadlocks. What she does identify with is her Christian faith, which is similar across boundaries throughout the world. However, with her many trips to Ireland and West Africa, having lived in each for long periods, her accent became a mix of Liberian, Irish, and American. So everyone constantly asks, who is she, or where is she from? When questions are asked in the wrong manner, where you're from, there usually is no offensive motive intended. These are colloquial terms that have been accepted into common parlance. And once you understand and recognize the difference between these words, it is important to remember to not get offended when someone approaches you with their misworded question. Just as we can better ourselves by learning the politically correct phrases to ask, we also need to understand others and look at pure intent rather than semantics, but also not get offended or too offended. Ken believes political correctness has gone too far and that we should be proud of where we are from and who we are, and not be afraid to ask someone else their heritage, ethnicity, or nationality. In developing the selfie board game, and because the game's object is to discover the background and physical information about someone, we need to listen for these traits, such as ethnicity, nationality, race, heritage, and culture. To do so, we listen to someone's voice using their accent, dialect, pronunciation, and language. Picking up these signals and discovering nationality, for example, you will assume that a certain person is Australian, who then might get irritated that, again, someone asks if he surfs every weekend and has blonde hair. Issue. In developing the scorepad for the game, Ken is still after your input for the terms to use on it. Take, for example, Scott in the Voices video below. You'll hear he has a Scottish accent. But is he Scottish? Where does he live? So, on the scorepad, do we ask his language? No, as he is speaking English. But what if he was speaking Chinese? Does that prevent him from being Scottish? So, do we ask accent? Well, he now lives in the USA. So, do we ask country? And so on. This is the challenge, but the fun of the game. Those people who have traveled extensively or relocated residents will really give some exciting opinions in the gameplay to those enjoying the selfie board game at home. We now, therefore, ask for all your positive comments in order to finalize the other side of the scorepad. Thank you for listening. My name is Mark Mercer.